So I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'd rather hear.
Yeah, Mary Trump, his niece, who's a clinical psychologist, you're a psychiatrist, made this comment. She said, everything Donald has done is a prelude to worse things to come. I mean, you wrote the book on Donald Trump. What say you?
I agree with that. I mean, he is what is the only person besides Mary Trump and me who know that clearly was his father. And his father sent him away when he was 12 because he couldn't take it. Everything he did was escalating his violence as a kid, throwing rocks at kids, neighbors, fighting with people. He was always in the principal's office. And his father didn't know what to do and sent him to boarding school. And he knew that there was something terribly wrong with his son. I mean, he never said it particularly, but his behavior was very clear. There was no way to set limits with him. And that's what's happening now and being repeated. We're waiting for somebody like Merrick Garland to set limits and stop this man because he keeps lighting fires wherever he goes. So they banned Twitter. That was a limit that was set. So he starts his own thing, and he just keeps going. He's relentless.
How pervasive or widespread is this in the GOP? Do you think that people like Ron DeSantis or Josh Hawley, with the fist bump for the rioters on January 6th, or DeSantis, sending Venezuelan immigrants from Texas up to Martha's Vineyard just to basically torture them out of delight? I mean, is this a common characteristic among these wannabe authoritarians?
Yes, it's a common characteristic. There's a lot of things written about it. And if you want to go to the basic earliest stuff about it, is to read. You can read it to your people even. Is to read Wilhelm Reich, written in which he said he wrote a book called The Mass Psychology of Fascism. Yep. And that was written before the internet, before television, before any of that. And he really understood how the masses can be moved and turned on and excited and then have a tidal wave of hate. And the issue is about hate. For instance, the difference is that what Trump has done is he's unleashed and helped people de-repress all of their feelings that they never felt they could express before in public. They never felt safe to do it.
You're talking about things like racial hatred?
Racial hatred is the first one. In fact,
misogyny.
When Reagan ran for president, I still remember this in 1980. At some point, towards the end of the campaign, Carter made a comment that I can't remember if he said it exactly like this, but he said essentially that Reagan is a racist. And my first thought when he said that was, oh, my God, Reagan's going to win. And because we have, which we should have, secret ballots, a lot of people would say to themselves, hey, I didn't know I could vote for a racist. This is great.
Right.
And I think a lot of people who have not repressed their racism, but suppressed it. They've learned to control it, and then people let it out. And it's a very huge process. And what Trump has done is he's led people to de-repress, to stop having to keep those feelings on hold. And it's not like everybody is evil or violent, but lots of us have feelings that, as Clarence Darrow said, I've never killed anybody, but I have to admit sometimes I enjoy reading the obituaries. I mean, it's true, and people feel that way. But what Reagan did, combined with our social media and the speed of information so we can jump to conclusions without taking time to think. Well, jumping to conclusions is so great. I mean, it's just easy. Right. Now I know.
Right.
Now I know.
We just have a couple of minutes left here. We're talking with Dr. Justin Frank, a psychoanalyst, clinical professor of psychiatry, and a psychiatrist at George Washington University. Dr. Frank, one of the, Barbara Walter wrote this book, How Civil Wars Start, he referenced in his article. And she made the point that one of the main things that people who are trying to incite a civil war do is they try to provoke authorities to overreact. and then they use that overreaction to play the victim card, the martyr card, and thus incite a movement. I think probably, you know, and this can be, you know, for the worse or for the better. I mean, what we're seeing in Iran is this for the better, in our opinions. It's for the worse from the point of view of the mullahs. But basically, what De Vega was predicting, based on, you know, that analysis by Barbara Walter, is that Trump's next step is going to be to try to get the government to attack him. That he's basically taunting the Department of Justice and saying, yes, please indict me, because then I will become the leader of the movement, then I will become the martyr, then I get all the power, just like when Hitler went to prison. What are your thoughts on that? We have about a minute, by the way.
Say my thoughts in a minute, because there are unconscious elements of it. It's not only something superficial, and that is that Trump understands the power of identification with the aggressor. So if he's about to be attacked, he becomes the attacker. And he has a way of playing a victim card while attacking at the same time. I am being attacked. I am being victimized. Let's go get them. These people are terrible. We've got to have a rebellion. We've got to fight them. And that's a way of flipping his anxiety about being caught, being arrested, being put in jail into something positive. And it's a very amazingly powerful psychological mechanism that, you know, you see like minor versions of it where a father hits the son and then the son kicks the dog. That's sort of what we're talking about.
Remarkable stuff.
Only we have only being kicked.
Yeah, no, I get it. Professor Dr. Justin Frank, you can follow him on Twitter at JustinFrankMD. Dr. Frank, thanks so much for dropping by. It's always informative and great talking with you. Thank you.